Very quick video today, but very important. As we know, the US economy is going to complete shit right now, but as an unexpected consequence, the USD conversion rates against other currencies is actually doing really well. The USD to RMB conversion rate is actually up quite a bit. I'll show you guys here. You can see that the USD to Chinese yuan is 6.92 as of August 30th. And what you can see here is that in the past, let's say at the beginning of the month was 6.74, now 6.92. If you go back to the 1 year mark, you can see how much more it's actually increased. If you look back at, let's say around February, March 1st-ish, it was 6.31, which means that if you spend $1,000 on your inventory, they converted that to yuan, Chinese yuan to RMB, and that would equal 6,300, Chinese yuan. Whereas now, if you're still spending, from March 1st, your orders are still the same size, you're still getting the same charge, you're spending $1,000 in inventory, they're actually getting 6,900 RMB in return after the conversions. This is literally a 8 to 9% increase on every single order that you place now. So funnily enough, because the US dollar is actually going through massive inflation in the US, and they have to set in certain parameters to try to avoid that inflation, what it has, the kind of unintended consequence is that the US dollar value goes up against other different currencies around the world, including the Chinese yuan. And this means that if you're still spending the same amount you were back in March on your inventory, you should renegotiate. And because I think that the US has really no choice but to continue to try to curb the inflation, as an unexpected consequence, the conversion rates to RMB will continue to increase, I think even above 7. And so this means that if you renegotiate now, you can use that as a bargaining chip with your supplier to say, hey, you know what, listen, let's do a 10%. I know that right now it's gone up 8 to 9%, right? Let's do a 10%, flat rate decrease on my costs for a 1 year term. And in 1 year, we can renegotiate and see where the conversion rates are and renegotiate again for another year term. I think that most suppliers will actually do this because they definitely see the conversion rate continuing to increase. Like I said, just in the last month, if you just look at the last month here, you can see that it's gone from 6.74 to now 6.92. That's a huge jump. And so they'll see that coming and they will want to kind of lock in a price with you for a 1 year term. You can try even 6 months if you don't want to do the 1 year, but you should lock in some sort of rate because you don't want to be renegotiating every time, the conversions have a spike. And if not 10%, your supplier should at least accept some sort of discount. And at the very worst, just by watching this video, if your supplier comes back to you and says, hey, the raw material prices are up X%, we need to increase our prices, you can at least use this as a bargaining chip to be like, no, we're not going to increase the price because actually the conversion rate is like this, and therefore, we're not going to, increase the price. So just by watching this, 5-6 minute video, I hope that you got some value from that. Now, as a side note, on that same note of the raw materials, you should also always be looking at what are your materials actually made of? What are the raw material prices for your products? Because let's say if it's made out of wood, some specific type of wood, and the wood prices go down by 20%, well, then that should be reflected somewhat in your final, manufacturing cost as well, because the raw material prices have changed. It's funny because all you really hear from your suppliers are when prices go up, but you never hear when the prices go down. So you need to be, advocating for yourself there and being able to renegotiate whenever that does happen. I hope this quick video saves you a bunch of money. Let me know if you have any questions down below. And if you are still in the, not at this point, you're still trying to find a supplier, I'll put a link to a video in the description. It's like a complete masterclass to find the best supplier. So go ahead and watch that if you haven't already. Click somewhere over here and you'll probably see it. Thank you guys again for watching. I'll see you in the next video.